On September 2, 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin and Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico held a high-level bilateral meeting in Beijing, China, to discuss energy cooperation, regional security, and the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. The meeting began with a formal handshake and cordial greetings between the leaders, followed by exchanges with Russian and Slovak officials before taking their seats to begin discussions. Speaking at the start of the talks, President Putin praised Slovakia's independent approach to foreign policy, stating, "We appreciate the independent foreign policy you and your team are pursuing," and emphasized Russia's role as a reliable energy supplier, noting that Slovak companies continue to operate successfully within the Russian market, highlighting the strength of economic and energy ties despite broader geopolitical tensions. Addressing claims from some European leaders that Russia might attack deeper into Europe, Putin dismissed such warnings as hysteria and provocation, stressing, "Any sane person clearly understands that Russia has never had any intention to attack anyone, has no such intention now, and will never have it," framing Moscow's position as defensive rather than aggressive. He further explained that Russia had been compelled to defend its interests and the people who share historical and cultural ties with the Russian Federation, saying, "When it comes to Russia, it was forced to defend its interests and people who link their lives and their fate with the Russian Federation, with Russia, with our history and traditions." That's the essence of the conflict, emphasizing that Moscow's actions in Ukraine were in response to external pressures rather than acts of aggression. Putin also criticized NATO's expansion into the post-Soviet space, stating, "NATO is being used as part of an attempt to absorb the entire post-Soviet space. But we had to react on it." This is the heart of the problem, highlighting long-term security concerns that drove Russia's response. On the issue of attacks on energy infrastructure, he explained that Russia had exercised restraint for years despite repeated assaults on its facilities by Ukrainian forces, adding, "Not a long time ago, a couple of years ago, we didn't take any action at all regarding the civilian infrastructure, especially in wintertime. We were long behaving with restraint when Ukrainian troops constantly attacked our energy facilities. Then we started responding. And we are responding, let's say, in a serious way, acknowledging that retaliatory measures have also impacted Russia's partners in the region." Putin further mentioned opportunities for cooperation with the United States and Ukraine at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, stating, "We can cooperate with our American partners at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. We talked about it with them indirectly. The same goes to the Ukrainian side. We can work together at the Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant, the three of us, if conditions are favorable, while clarifying that this matter does not concern Slovakia directly." On Ukraine's international aspirations, Putin emphasized that Russia has never opposed Kyiv joining the European Union, saying, "As for Ukraine's EU membership, we have never objected to this. As for NATO, this is another issue. The point is the security of the Russian Federation, not only today or in the midterm time span. It is about the long-term outlook. Our position here is well known. We consider it unacceptable for us, differentiating between EU integration and NATO membership due to security concerns." Slovak Prime Minister Fico responded by expressing gratitude for the safe and regular supply of Russian gas via the Turkstream pipeline, stating, "I want to thank you for the safe and regular gas supplies that we receive through Turkstream." Supplies of Russian gas to Slovakia via the Turkstream pipeline are gradually rising and getting toward 4 billion cubic meters, highlighting Slovakia's reliance on Russian energy for national security and economic stability. Fico strongly condemned attacks on critical oil infrastructure and confirmed that he would raise these concerns directly with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky during a meeting in Uzhhorod, saying, "We react very strongly to attacks on oil infrastructure. I will meet Ukrainian President Zelensky on Friday. And I will raise this question very firmly. These attacks on crucial infrastructure are unacceptable for us, underscoring Slovakia's commitment to protecting regional energy networks." Regarding Ukraine's international ambitions, Fico made a clear distinction between NATO and EU membership, stating, "On one hand we support Ukraine on this matter, joining the EU. On the other, and I've been saying this all along, Ukraine can't become a member of NATO. This is my final decision. But as for EU ascension, we are ready for cooperation with Ukraine, signaling a pragmatic approach aimed at balancing European integration with security concerns." The meeting concluded with Putin and Fico shaking hands and departing the room, signaling ongoing dialogue between Moscow and Bratislava, with discussions highlighting efforts to manage energy security, regional stability, and the broader implications of the Ukraine conflict, while exploring potential avenues for consensus on long-term security, infrastructure protection, and diplomatic engagement. This meeting in Beijing underscores the complex diplomacy at play in Europe and Eurasia, demonstrating how energy, security, and international alliances intersect, and illustrating the willingness of both Russia and Slovakia to negotiate pragmatic solutions amid one of Europe's most pressing geopolitical challenges, seeking stability, cooperation, and pathways for compromise while addressing the long-term security interests of Russia, the energy needs of Slovakia, and the broader geopolitical tensions surrounding Ukraine.
Nemôže byť členský štát NATO, to som hovoril veľmi jasne od samého začiatku. Táto téma je, dúfam, vybavená definitívne, ale pokiaľ ide o Európsku úniu, to je téma, kde sme my pripravení s Ukrajinou veľmi intenzívne spolupracovať.